All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, B'chak, B'dash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, edifying to the Lord's elect. We'll go through a couple of see what's going on in the news, and then grab some precepts and keep it moving. Let's see what's going on. Supreme Court extends pause on order requiring full SNAP payments. Newsom at UN Climate Summit says Trump is doubling down on stupid. Whatever. It don't matter who comes next because honestly, what do you want? Another old ass white man running your country, man? It's pathetic. It's pathetic, man. This dude, he can't run a country. I mean, if you can't see that, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. He was on the news last night telling people how he was gonna, how he's making everything great again, how the price of their food is lower. Bullshit, man. Everything's great. He'll get on international news and tell everybody everything's great, but that's not the case, man. It's not the case, so we can't trust this devil. Let me start in the book of Amos, as a matter of fact. I wanted to read that. Going into our forefather Amos. I'm going to start at Amos chapter 9 and start at the top. It says, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them. And I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. Okay, a lintel is what holds the structure of a door. You normally put the lintel over the door. That's supposed to hold the weight of everything that's before it. So it's for stability. So if the Lord's telling him to smite the lintel so that the doorpost might shake, that's basically telling you, man, he's about to send judgment. He's saying he's standing over the altar, so he's in the temple, okay? And when you read the book of Kings, it talks about how Jeroboam set up two temples, one in Dan and one in Bethel. Let's grab that precept, as a matter of fact. Jeroboam sets up two temples, one in Dan and one in Bethel, KJV. 1 Kings 12, let's go there. And the Lord was coming to a point where he allowed him to do it at first, but then there's a certain measurement of wickedness, and then he's gonna judge you. Nowadays, he's gonna smite the lintels of your churches and your the places of worship where you go to worship. Jack Frost, Shalom. Okay? This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, and verse number. I'm gonna start over here. 1 Kings, chapter 12. And I'm gonna start up with the points of 28. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. 1 Kings 12 and 24, ye shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearken therefore to the word of the Lord and return to depart according to the word of the Lord Yahweh. So when you read up in 1 Kings, the 12th chapter, this is after the split of King Solomon, okay? This is when the Lord, he separated the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, all right? In the northern kingdom, we were at war with each other, and we were gonna fight against the northern kingdom in order to bring them back. Okay, but the Lord told him this was his doing. He wanted it to be like this, okay? 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 25. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Penuel. So Jeroboam is Ephraimite, okay? Ephraim's the head tribe, but nowadays they'll call you so-called Puerto Ricans, okay, which would be the head tribe because Joseph had two kids, Ephraim and Manasseh. And when he gave his sons over to Jacob to bless them, he blessed Ephraim over Manasseh, switching his hands over like this. showing you that the Lord is in control of who's going to be in power. He don't care if you're the firstborn or however he wants it to happen, he's going to have it happen. Okay, because Manasseh's older than Ephraim, but the blessing went to Ephraim. Okay, so he's the head tribe. All right. 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 26, and Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. The house of David in this context means Jerusalem, because that's where the temple was. He detracted or left Jerusalem with 10 of the tribes and went to the northern kingdom. Okay, that's why you got a difference between Judah and Israel. That's why they call it Judah and Israel. So when you see these words in there, you're going to know the difference. That Judah's talking about the southern kingdom and Israel's talking about the northern kingdom, even though both kingdoms are Israelites. All right? 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 27. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah. And they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. So he said they're going to need a place to worship. Okay, I just detracted from the southern kingdom, and we're not going to have a place to worship. If I don't build something, they're going to go back to Jerusalem and worship, and then they're going to turn around and kill me. Okay? 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 28. This is the point whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And that's the same mistake that we did when we came out of Egypt. We started worshiping the calf. Where did we learn that from? We learned that from the Egyptians. So Jeroboam, we still had that in us. Okay, showing you that this is right after the fall of King Solomon. We have 40 years of peace, and you're so quick to go back into idolatry. Okay, that shows you that we need a savior. We need new bodies. Because if the Lord allowed us to take down Esau, we'd build Babylon back up, pretty much. Just have a black ruler. It'd be wickedness, man. You'll be oppressing your own people, just like we did before. As a matter of fact, Nehemiah said something about that in Nehemiah the 5th chapter, showing you that we need to be changed, man. We did the same thing to our own people, so we can't really even be mad when the heathen has done it unto us, because we did it to ourselves. Let me grab this in Nehemiah 5. Nehemiah chapter 5. It's getting brick out here now. Seasons are changing. Nehemiah 5 and 1. And there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren, the Jews. Jews would represent the Israelites who remain in the land, once you know which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Nehemiah 5 and 2, for there were that said, we are our sons, and our daughters are many, therefore we take up corn for them, that we may eat and live. Some also there were that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses, that we might buy corn because of the dearth. The dearth is a famine. So they were mortgaging their lands, they were leasing it. Renting it. There were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute, and that upon our lands and vineyards. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, our children as their children, and lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants, and some of our daughters are brought unto bondage already, neither is it in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and vineyards. And this is kind of the same state we're in now, but now the heathen's ruling over us. Can't afford anything. And this is what they're telling Nehemiah. You know, we can't, especially with building everything, we can't do it, man. We got other issues that we're dealing with. And I was very angry when I heard their cry in these words. This is Nehemiah speaking. Then I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them, ye exact usury, every one of his brother, and I set a great assembly against them. So here it is. He had to bring him, Shalom, King. He had to bring them into a council and rebuke the nobles, which are the rulers and stuff, because they're the ones who were benefiting from pretty much oppressing their own people. And I said unto them, We, after our ability, have redeemed our brethren the Jews, which were sold unto the heathen. And will ye even sell your brethren? Or shall they be sold unto us? Then held they their peace and found nothing to answer. Yeah, because we just got, this is during the time of, the Persians having us go back into our own land and fix, the walls of Jerusalem, rebuild the temple. But what happened was, those people that were there, they had that still remained in the land. During that time, they had to mortgage their homes and sell their kids to pay off loans and things like that. Okay? And this is what Nehemiah is saying, like, damn, the heathen was just treating us like that, but we're doing the same thing the heathen was doing. We're mad about the heathen doing it to us, and we doing it to ourselves. Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 9. Also I said, it is not good that ye do, ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies. So here it is, Nehemiah, our forefather, knew he had enemies, but you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you think everybody loves you, okay? I likewise and my brethren and my servants might exact of them money and corn. I pray you, let us leave off this usury. Yeah, I would exact money from the heathen. That's what you're supposed to do. You can exact money from the heathen, but according to the law, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that to your own brother. Esau's not supposed to be charging Israelites for usury, which is interest on loans and things like that. Okay, that's supposed to be exacted on the heathen, but showing you he's the devil. He'll even do it to you. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 5, and verse 11. Restore, I pray you, to them even this day their lands, their vineyards, their olive yards, and their houses, also the 100th part of the money, and of the corn, the wine, and the oil that ye exact of them. So other Israelites using other Israelites' land and resources. He's telling them to give it back, even though they owe you on things, forgive them of that and just pretty much give it back. Then said they, we will restore them and will require nothing of them. So will we do as thou sayest. Then I called the priests and took an oath of them that they should do according to this promise. And Esau's not going to do anything like that because he's not righteous. He's not going to get you. He's not going to restore you. No, he's going to try to continue to oppress you. And that's what Esau does. That's why it tells you in Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. Don't you think you'd be happy if you were restored? But only your brother can do that. And that's why when you vote for the heathen, you got to expect these things to happen to you, man. That's why he tells you in Deuteronomy 17, you're not supposed to vote for the heathen to rule over you. You're supposed to vote for somebody that's your brother, okay, which is a fellow Israelite. It's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 5, verse 13. Also, I shook my lap and said, so God shake out every man from his house and from his labor that performeth not this promise. Even thus be he shaken out and empty. And all the congregation said, Amen, and praised the Lord. And the people did according to this promise, which the promise was to restore all the Israelites that owed them money. Okay. Moreover, from the time that I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, from the 20th year even unto the 32nd year of Artaxerxes the king, that is 12 years, I and my brethren have not eaten the bread of the governor. So even Nehemiah is saying, even though he was in a position of being a governor, he wasn't using that title to reap from the people. Okay, he ate his own bread, man. He didn't take that from his people. That's what he's saying. So that's another way of leading by example, man. Israel, when you really look at it, we are a noble people. You never see a president go to war with his people, man. All right, Israel did that. King David, he went to war with his people. All right, so that just goes to show you we are completely two-manner people, man. Esau go sit his fat ass in the White House and go send your children over there to get put to death. It's easy to do that. But when you're out there with them, on the grounds with them, hey, man, people are going to be more willing to fight with you when you're willing to go fight for yourself. Okay? Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 14. Moreover, from it's like Nehemiah 5 verse 15. But the former governors that had been before me were chargeable unto the people, and had taken of them bread and wine, beside 40 shekels of silver. Yea, even their servants bear rule over the people. But so did not I, because of the fear of the Heavenly Father. So I wouldn't even do that to my brother, man. So Nehemiah feared the Lord, all right? And guess what? We don't have rulers that fear the Lord anymore. They think they're above the Lord. They think they're above these laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's why people are mourning. He's taking away your usury, your vineyard, your houses. Your kids are in captivity and you can't redeem them. You got to pay for them to go to school, and you got to pretty much turn them into servants. You got to turn your kids into slaves. Who the hell wants to pay? Who wants to pay? Put their kid and go 100,000 in debt, so you can pay stupid ass Esau, who oppressed your people in the beginning. You look at schools like Harvard University. That's slave money. You know, Brown University in Rhode Island. That's a damn plantation. Okay, so your people already, worked already. They weren't paid for it, and now your kids are paying them again. Like, this is what we're saying. It's foolishness, man. Okay, and this devil is just perpetually doing this shit. This is why you got to go. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 5, verse 16. Yea, also, I continued in the work of this wall, neither bought we any land, and all my servants were gathered thither unto the work. And that's what we're doing. We're not charging you to do the work of the Lord, man. Okay, especially if we do this all for the elect's sake, so the Lord's sheep can get fed. Okay, he could have did what the other governors have done. Israel was already used to paying other governors and things like that, but he wasn't doing that. He was like, shit, I could have got paid. I could have had my servants get paid, and they would have done it. But he didn't do that because of the fear of the Lord. He wasn't charging you on usury. And the scriptures tell you that a workman is worthy of his hire. So if you working, you know, he's building a wall, he's building Jerusalem. That's not an evil thing for people to chip in to make sure he's fed and he eats. He went above and beyond and by not doing that, just because that's how much he feared the Lord. He didn't want to have no parts of taking anything from them, for them to say anything bad about him. Nehemiah chapter 5 in verse 17, moreover, there were at my table 150 of the Jews and rulers, beside those that came unto us from among the heathen that are about us. Now that which was prepared for me daily was 1 ox and 6 choice sheep. Also fowls were prepared for me, and once in 10 days store of all sorts of wine. Yet for all this required not I the bread of the governor, because the bondage was heavy upon this people. So he wasn't trying to put any more of a burden on his people. And he just told you how much he, in order to feed everyone that was amongst him. He said he needed a whole ox, 6 choice sheep. Also fowls were prepared for me. So that's a lot of food, you too. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? Nehemiah 5 and verse 19. Think upon me, my God, for good, according to all that I have done for this people. So there you go. And he knows the Lord is not he's not going to forget his labor of love. All right? But that just goes to show you the oppression of our people. And our forefathers and how they were different. But going back to the Lord, started in Amos 9:1 when he said was smiting the lentils and all that. We lost our way for treating our people like this. Even Rehoboam, he was going off. But like we read in 1 Kings, the 12th chapter, it was all the Lord's will in order to bring about that separation so he could fulfill prophecy in these last days. Okay, but these two kingdoms never been brought back together, and that's the whole story of the book. And we're together right now here in America, in this melting pot. But for a long time, Judah was over there alone amongst all the heathen. And Israel came over here to the Americas when you read 2 Kings, the 13th chapter. Okay, 40 on down. So they dwelt here, and what were they doing? We find out, you learn about the Mayans and the Aztecas. They doing human sacrificing. Okay, they're doing all types of abominations. The Lord don't tell you in the book of Leviticus to cut the heart out of somebody and throw it down some stairs. Drink blood and shit like that. Put pieces of wood in your nose and walk around half naked like a damn heathen. And that's what y'all were doing over here. So the Lord raised up Christopher Columbus, come whip your ass, man. And put your ass to death. Put your kids, cut your heads off, burn you at the stake, and go make you worship a whole other God. Okay? And that's righteous because you knew the law. You made a covenant with him. So and then he gave you some time, got you out of Assyria, brought you over here, and you continued in your wickedness. And then here it is. We're reading 1 Kings, the 12th chapter. Jeroboam setting up a calf, 2 calves. So when we came out of Egypt, we set up 1 calf, and he had Levi destroy over 3,000 men. Let me grab that precept. Levi, Lord said, who's on my side? KJV. Exodus 32. Let's go there. Exodus 32. In verse number... I start at 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. So here it is in Exodus 32. You know, Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the law, statutes, and commandments. And what are they doing? What is Israel doing while they're waiting for Moses to come? They're asking the high priest, Aaron, to set them up another god. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And you got to think, Moses just delivered them. This is after the Red Sea, okay? And they're ready to start worshiping the gods of Egypt. Calves and shit. You look at Hamites today, they still worship cows and shit like that, okay? They got cows pissing and shitting on them, and they call themselves blessed. That's the way of the heathen, okay? Exodus 32:3, and all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron, and he received them at their hand and fashioned it with the graving tool after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Yeah, look at this calf. This calf brought you up out of the land of Egypt, man. And that's foolishness. You got to think what kind of mindset would somebody have to be in to worship a calf, man. And you see that happening in today's time, okay? You got people doing that. Elon, the East Indian man, he worships rats and cats and all types of shit, man. He comes over here and he's your doctor, okay? He's your professor. And he go to his country every 2-3 times a year to do the shit I'm talking about, this abominable shit. But yet he's over here on a high ass level, man. Okay, these are the curses in Deuteronomy 28, Exodus chapter 32 and verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord Yahweh. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. That's what y'all doing now. Y'all playing still. You rose up to play, man. You over here playing, but then you're going to find out what happened with themselves playing. Exodus 32:7, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Go get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sanctified thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. Yeah, watch out. I'm gonna put all them to death and make just out of Moses a great nation. Okay. Moses entreated, and Moses besought the Lord Yahweh his God and said, Lord, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people. So Moses was talking, told the Most High, man, repent. You know, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna save them out of Egypt and then go put them to death? You know, what are the heathen gonna think about that, man? That you ain't had the power to deliver them, you know? And he considered it. He considered it. Exodus chapter 32, verse 13. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, which is Jacob, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's our forefathers. But we're not inheriting the land. Okay, and if you think the small hat is the real people, then he shouldn't be going to war. He should be waking up the elect. Where's Ephraim? Where's Judah? Where's Benjamin? Where's Ephraim? Where's Dan at? Where's Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar? Where's King David? Where's the Lord? If he's the one that's going to bring you over there. So they don't fit the curses. That's not the people. Exodus 32 and 14. And the Lord Yahweh repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. So he even repented. Okay, so that's the Lord being the intercessor for you. I mean, Moses being the intercessor for the children of Israel. All right. Exodus 32 and 15. And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the two tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written. And the tables were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God, graven upon the tables. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear. Yeah, they down there singing. Like the scripture said, they were playing. Dancing to that stupid ass calf. Okay? And I can only imagine how high up on a mountain they were to not really hear what was going on down there. Exodus 32 and 19, it says Moses' anger. And it came to pass I don't know, these women are out of their damn mind. These women cannot drive. Exodus, it was a woman. As a matter of fact, side note, there was a woman driving a train in San Francisco. She almost derailed the train. She almost killed everybody on the trolley, man. You women cannot drive, man. That was just a chick in a Jeep going 100 miles to get a green light down here on a one-way. This is crazy, man. Which shows you, man, her ass need to be in the kitchen, man. Real talk. Exodus 32 and verse 19. And it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, talking about Moses, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot. And he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. So this is talking about those law, statutes, and commandments, or the 10 commandments as y'all call them. He broke it when he saw, he just got him from the Lord, and he just threw it down. That's the anger of the Lord. The Lord made him do that. And this is after 40 days. And he took, in 40 nights, and he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire and ground it to powder and strawed it up upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it. And that also goes into Numbers, the 5th chapter. When a man is jealous of his wife, he would bring her unto the priest and the priest would make a concoction of bitter water and make her drink it. And if her thigh rotted, she would the curse. That was the curse. The priest would put a curse on your wife if you had. That's the law of jealousy. If you drank the bitter water and your thigh started to rot, that means you were cheating on your husband. Okay? And we're married to the Most High through the covenant on Mount Sinai in Exodus the 24th chapter. So, you know, and he's a jealous power. All right? So, and that's why Moses burnt the calf, turned it into powder, and made him drink it. This book of Exodus chapter 32 in verse number 21. And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever have any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Israel and the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moses had said, consecrate yourselves today to the Lord Yahweh, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. So here it is, the Lord put 3,000 of them to death for worshiping that calf. And the reason I'm bringing that out is because Jeroboam, he doubled down on that. He doubled down on that. He knows the history we just read. He knows about the calf. He knows about coming out of Egypt. And what did he do? He made 2 calves, man. 1 Kings 12 and 28, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. And he made a house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi, because Levi's they're the priests. So you put some low-level people in there to be priests. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah, which is Jerusalem. And he offered upon the altar, so did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. And this is the history of you so-called Latinos and Native Americans, man. You know, going into, you know, the history a little bit, you know, but Judah went off too, worshiping all types of wicked gods, man. All right? We're going back to Amos 9:1. Now the judgment's about to come, man. But that's the beginning. It started with all that idolatry, and then it manifested itself later on down the line. Generations and generations just kept going off. Hey, Shalom, brother. How you doing today? Good. Hey, good, brother. Shalom, King. All right, brother. Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you. Amos chapter 9, verse 1. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, And he said, smite the lintel or the door that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword, and he that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. So he's going to destroy your temples. He's going to destroy your kingdom. He's going to cut them in the head. Ultimately, you take out the head, which is the head of your churches, the head of your governments. You know, that's how he's going to take Israel down. And he eventually did that with the Assyrians, when you look at the history of it all. Okay? He smote Israel. He took them everything that they had, he gave all that over to the heathen. And he has cases, just like in Exodus, the 32nd chapter, he used Levi to bring forth that judgment. Okay? But in this time, how that applies today is where you go to worship. If it's not Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you're gonna get destroyed. He's gonna shake that up. You know, you go into these 501c3s, he's gonna break that up too. These different camps who ain't worshiping, who ain't saying the name of the Lord, he's gonna break that up too. And it might start with going for the head. He might cut your head, the head of your camp, and he might cut that off. Okay. Let me grab this precept real quick. Psalm 68, verse number 21. Psalm 68, verse 21. But God shall wound the head of his enemies, and the hairy scalp of such an one as goeth on still in his trespasses. So he's gonna wound the head of his enemies. Okay? And who are the Lord's enemies? Anyone who's transgressing his laws. Anyone who's teaching other people to transgress the laws of the Lord. Okay? These false prophets are an enemy to the Lord. And he's going to destroy them too. As a matter of fact, let me grab this in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13. Ezekiel 13:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, hear ye the word of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. O Israel, that prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. That's right. We're supposed to go around getting Israel prepared for the battle, man. And most of these camps, they're not doing that. They're not getting Israel prepared for the battle. They're getting Israel to get comfortable here in Babylon. Or we're going to build up a community, you know. We're going to, you know, whatever they're teaching. If it's not about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, they don't really, they're not doing the will of the Lord. They're pretty much misleading the sheep, okay, making themselves an enemy to the Lord. Ezekiel 13, verse 6, they have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, the Lord saith, and the Lord have not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. Have ye not seen a vain vision? And have ye not spoken a lying divination? Whereas ye say, the Lord have it, albeit I have not spoken. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so I'm against you, man. That don't mean he's your friend. No, that means you're an enemy. That means he's going to destroy you false prophets that are out there, not bringing back Israel, getting them prepared for the battle that's ahead of us, like that MOTB that we're about to take. And showing them that that's prophecy in Revelation, the 13th chapter, not giving them the name of the Lord. When it tells you in Proverbs 18:10 that the name of the Lord is a strong tower. So they're not going to be defended in that time, and it's because of you false prophets. So that's you making yourself an enemy with the Lord. This is the book of Ezekiel 13:9. And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel, neither shall they enter into the land of Israel. and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. That's right. And when he sends his hand against you, man, that's not to shake your hand, man. He's gonna put it's judgment time. All right. Ezekiel 13:10. Because they have seduced my people, saying peace, and there was no peace, and one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. That's right. Others daubed it with untempered mortar. Ultimately, it's symbolic for the lies that you teach. People think that they're going to be defended in this time. They think that the Lord's going to be with them. They think they're saved already. That's untempered mortar, man. So this wall that you trust in is going to fall on you, man. Say unto them which daub it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and ye, O great hailstone, shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it. That's right, a stormy wind shall rend it. They shall fall. Esau is the storm or the flood that's coming to knock down that wall of yours. Okay, and the Lord's not going to lift up a standard for you in that time because you haven't been worshiping him. You haven't fully repented. You might have thought you repented, but it wasn't according to knowledge. You weren't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You was being rebellious. It's like it tells you in 1 Samuel chapter 15. That was what happened with King Saul. King Saul, he didn't obey the commandment of the Lord. Okay, and that's why eventually he got put to death. Okay, 1 Samuel, let me grab it. 1 Samuel 15. 1 Samuel 15, I start at 21. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. So that's him not taking any accountability for his actions. He's saying the people took all these things when the Lord told him to destroy them all. And Samuel said, have the Lord Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Yeah, so it's better to listen to the Lord than it is to make sacrifices unto him. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord Yahweh. He have also rejected thee from being king. So it's as the sin of witchcraft and rebellion. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 12. Lo, when the walls is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the daubing wherewith ye have daubed it? Yeah, the untempered mortar. Where's those lies that you believe in, man? Okay? Where's Esau, right? You know, how is he going to protect you? You know, you're going to be confounded, man. So will I break down the wall that ye have daubed with untempered mortar, and bring it down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered, and that shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. You're going to know by the judgment that he executeth on your ass. Okay? 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, tells you that the same shall know it after death by pain. Okay? That's how you're going to learn. You're not going to learn from you being told from the prophets, you know, from the apostles and elders at Great Millstone on down. You're going to learn from actually being put to death that these words are true. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 15. Thus will I accomplish my wrath upon the wall, and upon them that have daubed it with untempered mortar, and will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that daubed it. So your wall and you are going to be destroyed, man. Those lies that you believe in, you're going to be confounded with the truth. Because you're pretty much aligning yourself against the will of the Lord. The will of the Lord is going to happen. Okay, so when you are coming up against that, you're making yourself an enemy to the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 16, to wit, the prophets of Israel which prophesy concerning Jerusalem, and which see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, there is no peace. Okay, we got Jacob's trouble coming around the corner, man. More wars, more pestilence. Okay, that's what's coming. All right? That's what's coming in this place. But are the prophets telling you that? Are your pastors telling you that? No. They're still talking this prosperity doctrine. They're still telling you to give them $2,000 or you ain't going to be blessed. You know, they're not telling you who Israel is. They're not doing the work. They don't care about the Israelites. Why would they care about Israel? They don't care about the Lord's children or his people. Okay? Or which are his people. Okay? So, you know, you're going to be destroyed because of that. Ezekiel chapter 13, in verse 17. Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against the daughters of thy people, which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them. Yeah, the daughters of thy people, which is you women. Okay? Prophesy against them too. Okay? She that is my enemy, book of Micah, chapter 7. Let's grab that. Micah chapter 7, in verse number 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? My eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And that's you women. You Israelite women. Okay? You're like an enemy. You don't serve the Lord. You serve Esau, Edom. Okay? You treat your husbands like shit. You don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And you're going to pay for that. Okay? She that is my enemy. Because, you know, a lot of the brothers, you know, especially if you're doing this work, a lot of you, you know, you getting persecuted because of it. Okay, it might be your woman, and if she ain't doing it now, she's gonna be doing it when the time is to come. When you know, when you faced with that tribulation of not taking the MOTB and having to suffer for righteousness' sake, she's gonna be saying she gonna show you that she's your enemy if she's not one of the elect. Ezekiel chapter 13 and 18, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, woe to the women that sew pillows to all armholes, and make kerchiefs upon the head of every stature to hunt souls. Will ye hunt the souls of my people? And will ye save the souls alive that come unto you? And will ye pollute me among my people for handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread, to slay the souls that should not die, and to save the souls alive that should not live, by your lying to my people that hear your lies? And that's right. First of all, you ain't supposed to be, you're not supposed to be, what? Duran Nannin, you're a fool, man. You know, you're not supposed to be teaching anyways. You're supposed to be learning from your husband that's at home. All right? And Duran Nannin, I would watch my mouth if I were you, man. You got to be careful. You might be a young man. I don't know, but you know, it's sometimes it's better to hold your peace if you don't know what's going on. Ezekiel chapter 13, in verse 20. Wherefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against your pillows, wherewith ye there hunt the souls to make them fly. And I will tear them from your arms, and will let the souls go, even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly. Your kerchiefs also will I tear, and deliver my people out of your hand, and they shall be no more in your hand to be hunted, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Because with lies ye have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad, and strengthened the hands of the wicked, that he should not return from his wicked way by promising him life. And that's what you women do today. You pray to the so-called white man, and you promise them life with your lies, man. And there ain't no one worshiping the so-called white man more than the so-called black woman. That's Eve, man. That's Eve. So Eve's going to be destroyed, man. Hey, the water Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh shot for that, because she's out of her damn mind. And that goes for all the tribes, man. There was a woman that, I forgot, I think in Indianapolis, she was a house cleaner. She went to the wrong door, and Esau shot her through the door. I think it was an Edomite. That's just a thing that Esau does, man. He'll shoot you through the door. He won't say hello or nothing. He'll just pop you right through the door. And she had mad kids, a husband. She was going to work with her husband in the car, you know, with the kids in the car, and he got, I don't know if her kids were in the car, but the husband was in the car, and he said he knew she was dead when she turned around and fell. And I'm almost bringing up her death to show you that, first of all, the Lord ain't playing, number one. He'll put a woman to death too. And number two, you know, a lot of y'all go into these harlot houses, man, and you're not going to be protected. Just like that black woman who got shot in her kitchen. She called the police, and she said, in the name of Jesus, and the police officer shot her in the face. So that name is not the name. That's not a strong tower, okay? And that's not the God that is going to deliver you in these last days. Okay, you worshiping a false God. He's trying to tell you, getting you prepared for the battle to learn about your Lord and Savior, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13, in verse 23. Therefore ye shall see no more vanity nor divine divinations, for I will deliver my people out of your hand, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. So you want to know. Amos chapter 9 and verse 2. Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, this applies to the elites trying to escape the judgment of the Lord. It also applies to Israel trying to escape the judgment of the Lord for worshiping these false gods. And when he sent the Assyrians to do what they do, hey, all of them got caught. That was part of the prophecy. All right? They got caught, man. Except the people who actually listened to Amos when he came. If they listened to the report, they would have repented and went back into Jerusalem. And we have cases of that, like that lady, I believe Luke, I forgot her name, from the tribe of Asher. She was from the tribe of Asher. I believe it's either Luke 1 or Luke 2. She was from the northern kingdom. So that's how we know that there was some of the northern kingdom within Jerusalem, at least in the New Testament, you know. But I'm sure they were probably there. I can't say I'm sure they were probably there because of Amos, is what I'm trying to say. And getting that report telling them to come back to Jerusalem. As you read the book of Tobit, let me grab that. Tobit 2. Just grab that. I'll see if I can grab that other precept. We're getting close. We're getting close. Where's Tobit at? All right, Tobit. Chapter 1. So let me hold this down. Barely feel my damn fingers. It's the book of Tobit, chapter 1. Points down a little bit. I'm gonna read up the top. The book of the words of Tobit, son of Tobiel, the son of Ananiel, the son of Adul, the son of Gabriel, the seed of Asiel, of the tribe of Naphtali. Okay, so he's from Naphtali, which would be Argentina to Chile. That's where Tobit's from. Well, that's where they are approximately today. The majority of Naphtali are Argentina and Chile. Who in the time of, it says, Enemesser, which is Shalmaneser, king of the Assyrians, was led captive out of Thisbe, which is at the right hand of that city, which is called properly Naphtali in Galilee, above Asher. I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the way of truth and justice, and I did many alms deeds to my brethren and my nation who came with me to Nineveh, into the land of the Assyrians. And when I was in my own country, in the land of Israel, being but young, all the tribe of Naphtali, my father, fell from the house of Jerusalem, which was chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, that all the tribes should sacrifice there, where the temple of the habitation of the Most High was, consecrated and built for all ages. Now all the tribes which together revolted, and the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer of Baal. But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the feast, as it was ordained unto all the people of Israel by an everlasting decree, having the first fruits and tenths of increase with that which was first shorn, and them gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Aaron. So here it is, a northern kingdom Israelite still going to Jerusalem during that time. So I say that to say he wasn't the only one, even though his family sacrificed to the heifer of Baal. Okay, talking about those calves, man. All right, but let me see if I can find this this precept in the book of Luke. So the northern kingdom was there too. So it would have been in your best interest to listen to the Lord when he sent his prophets. And you know, it's probably Luke 2. Yeah, Luke 2. Let's go to Luke 2. And like, yeah, Luke 2. And verse 36, and there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of a great age and had lived with a husband 7 years from her virginity. And she was a widow of about 84 years, which departed not from the temple, but served God with fasting and prayers night and day. So she was in Jerusalem. Okay, and she was from the tribe of Asher. All right, so, you know, the point of the matter is, there were people that repented, even after this destruction. But those of you who didn't had to suffer Amos 9:1. You had to go through the judgment of the Lord in order to learn, just like I was saying in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter. Let me grab that as a matter of fact. In the book of 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 9 and verse you know what? I'll just start at the top. I'll end it in 9. It's actually I'm gonna go straight to the point. 2nd Esdras 9, and I gotta read up a little bit. 2nd Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and then when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand. That it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, meaning it's evident that the end is here. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. That's why, you know, when the prophets came, you know, going into Tobit, going into Luke with Anna, you know, you had to believe the report. Okay? Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Okay, so that's Tobit sanctified, Anna sanctified. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. And that's what he did when he sent in the Assyrians. Okay? For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. and that they have loathed my law, meaning they despised it, while they had yet liberty. And when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain. So you're going to die. And I'm going to end it there. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, B'chak, Kadash. Shalom, Abad Babal, and Kwam Yasharala.